Hello, great people. My name is Dotun Roy, and welcome to another episode on Hot Mic, where we discuss topical issues, human angle stories, and share possible recommendations about this issue. In this episode, we are going to be looking at issues of insecurity in Nigeria and how we as a people can collectively deal with these issues.
And to discuss this with me, I have in the studio a security and energy consultant, a public good advocate. He is Prince Kelvin Fyneface. You are welcome to Hot Mic, Mr. Kelvin.
My pleasure. Nice meeting you, Dr.
All right, let's dive into it. How, from your own perspective, how would you describe the current state of insecurity in Nigeria right now? Are there improvement? Has anything changed?
Well, first, you must understand that insecurity in the country currently is more like a going business. What it simply means is that if you look at all of the happenings across the nation, northwest, northeast, south-south, southeast, southwest, you find one common trend. Even in the north central, a common trend is that the business of insecurity is a very thriving business. Even if the government on the part is working so hard to see that this thing is somehow abated, but because there are insiders, traders, it's difficult to actually truly contain insecurity.
Cool.
And what I mean by that is simply the fact that we've seen in the news where some agencies, some security agencies, agents, involving in either kidnapping or robbery cases, or in some cases, extortion that goes beyond normal. And at the end of the day, you find this thing continues because it's a vicious cycle. That's why I say it's an ongoing concern.
Yeah, so there is this particular trending video that I saw on social media where some herdsmen, went into a particular farm and destroyed. Those cows were practically heating up those crops. Cassava. They were eating. I saw another one. This second one is actually maize. Corn. They were practically destroying those stuff. These are issues that we face in this country, and you would agree with me that particular location where those crops are being eaten will be either southeast or southwest. And these herdsmen are mostly from the northern part of the country. So how do you think that scenario will not trigger insecurity?
Well, I don't know what video you saw, but the video that I saw, similar kind of video.
Okay.
This young man, the elders were basically speaking Fufude.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe the same. Yeah, the same thing.
Fufude. I saw the video, and they were uprooting the crops, the cassava roots, from the soil. In the other video that I saw them also destroying the maize farm.
Exactly.
And giving that to the cow to eat. Of course, it is going to be, for them to even get to that state where they could uproot, it means they've actually either killed the farmers or the local sustainable environment, or chase them away from the community, so they now have access to the farm. Things that is oftentimes result to what the media will call herdsmen and farmers clashes.
Exactly.
But I don't subscribe to that, appellation.
Okay.
Over the years, I've seen the consistency, the trend of what I would call subtle genocidal, approach, because there's an ethnic cleansing that comes with this kind of approaches. The people are, driven away, killed, maimed, destroyed, driven away. Then these people who did this act take over the communities, rename those communities. It happens in Southern Kaduna. You have it in the Benue houses. You have it also currently in some part of the southwest, where they are beginning to gain some kind of ground. In the eastern part of Nigeria, just recently, a few years ago, it was in Nebo. Just recently, in somewhere in Enugu and Ebonyi, there's been mass killings by this same group of persons. So we can't say it's elders from mass clashes anymore, because this is pure terrorist acts with a coloration of genocide attached to it. Because what we call genocide is basically a cleansing of a people in a particular region, and replacing them with new set of people. So that's what you see happening in the country. Why is it successfully going on? Complicit from the top to the bottom.
Okay.
We saw a situation, given the case of Samuel Jackson,
yes.
in the
Exactly.
northeastern part
Trending
of Nigeria.
video
Yeah,
of him being on death row.
So on death row. Why? That he was able to defend himself, and in the process of defending himself, the assailant was killed. Now, because there's a dead person and also a living person. The proof of the proof is on the person who claimed to have defended himself. So the onus is on him to prove that beyond reasonable doubt. I'm sure he was not able to prove the evidence, but the stories are the same. That when some of these persons are arrested or apprehended by the locals, handed over to the police, they go scot-free. So it tells me something. The complicity that you have in the judiciary and the security agencies points to one simple trend, which is why I said it's a subtle genocidal effort. And someone said some time ago, I was discussing with a friend of mine as why this thing should not be, and he said, look, the jihadist movement in the early 19th century, from the 17th century to 19th century, still goes on, but now in a more different
subtle way,
subtle form. Before they had to carry the horses and run through places, but now all they simply to do is to send this men, to go dislodge, successfully take over the place, rename the place, and that place becomes it. So we need to look at it from the ethno-religious, perspective, and see that this thing can be abated. Why is it difficult as a country for us to have ranches that makes it, easy cattle rearing and more yields in production? Because what they call them, the company that produces milk, Pamado, Pamado had proven that being able to house this cattle in a particular location helps to increase
their milk production.
Exactly. And gives quality meat for eating. Then also you find out that in the cow you find the milk, the beef, you have the bones used for calcium-related issues, pharmaceutical industry. You have the skin for leather production for our furniture and the shoes and all of them. And in fact, Nigerians' hide and skin is one of the most sought out in the whole of West Africa that I know of. Because Italians oftentimes come here and there are middlemen come to buy this thing. So we can look at it as a core business. Why is it difficult for states to embark on this ranching so as to reduce the incessant, marauding of this in the state, no matter the state.
Exactly.
Because these people move from place to place. So why don't you have ranches built up for them? So they go there, that's where they go, the station, then you have their abattoir close to it, you have the meat market close to it. So at the end of the day, you see there's a value chain of relationship that brings economic boom, reducing this insecurity, thereby increasing crop yields.
Exactly.
Because you go and destroy this farm produce, at the end of the day, what do you expect? It's expected that from the Fulani's Eda's lineage relationship.
Exactly.
It's better that once they encroach in your farm, you're supposed to report. But in this sense, what we are saying is not encroachment. It's a deliberate act of sabotage done to these farmers, which means going to report that X, Y, Z had encroached, destroyed farm, will not do old water any longer. That was done when there's a genuine, innocent encroachment by the elders. We didn't know that there's a family. Maybe it was in the night and decided to, roam through that path and destroy some farms. You're supposed to report. Then they will compensate for the crops. But every farmer wants to see his harvest. Not necessarily paying for the crops that have not been harvested.
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense. What's the essence of you farming? You want to be able to see your yield and know how much and how well that has been, so you can know how to give praise to the God that you serve. At the same time, also have the confidence to boast about your exploits in your farming business. But when that is cut short, it affects so many things. It will result to anger, and in some cases, maybe you can now see where the conflicts will come in. And so you destroy my crops, I kill your cow. Oh, the average fellow values his cow much more than a human life. So a cow is killed, and I tell you why. From a little research, I found out that these elders who go about doing these herding businesses have a part of the caste system in a particular level. And so they need to protect their integrity, or else the family lineage will not be given such opportunity to go and
Wow.
So in order to prove that they didn't kill the cow, steal the cow, or were careless about the herding, they had to do something to show that they made efforts to recover that, death or loss And that's what sometimes result to the killings. And even in their midst, they also have their own armed groups that where they go to a particular location, they don't given access, or maybe the community either attacked and kill one or two. The armed groups is engaged, and they come in to do the needful to, punish the community with the death, destruction, and maiming. To serve as a warning or a strong message that you don't cross with us. So you kill one cow, they could take 10 lives for it.
What?
Yes. I mean, that's how they've been able to position themselves in order to be able to ward off people who want to just take advantage. So you look at the killings resulting from this, terrorist acts by the elders. Mostly from the Fulani extraction.
Exactly.
Because the videos I watched, basically we're speaking for them.
It has always been. So, okay, now you mentioned something about ethnic cleansing, kind of. Why should there be ethnic cleansing in this time and age?
Well, society over the years has always been that, where a particular group will want to be able to, take over another group. We are species who survive, and that's why you find that where there's no law, if a country becomes a state of nature, it is not left for survival of the fittest.
For real?
Yes, I mean, that's what it simply means. So Nigeria needed to be able to up our laws and ensure that those laws do not look at ethnic or religious sentiments. But unfortunately for us in the country, there's been that ethnic religious sentiments that have always guided implementation of the laws or enforcement of the laws of the country.
Okay.
And so in the past, we've had series of this kind of attacks. Arrests were made.
Yeah.
Or in some cases, but let me give you the states in the sense of the Plateau experience.
Yeah.
There's been incessant attacks
on Christians.
On the Christian communities within the environments, killings, upon killings, and the communities decided to go harm themselves in order to self-preserve, which is part of what the law encourages us to do, because self-preservation is your soul right, it's a human right to protect yourself. And when they went to get harms, information was passed around, they were rounded up by the security agents, the tax and other people, and all of those arms were taken from them. And not too long again, these guys came in and attacked the community.
What?
And killed the people. So you now ask yourself, why was it so easy for the military and the security agencies to be able to round up these community members that have been able to harm themselves, to protect themselves, and are not able to get these marauders who come in every now and then, kill and go?
Wow.
It's also there in Benue. It's also there in Southern Kaduna. And you saw the son of El-Rufai, the current House of Rep member, who was threatening and also dealing with the fact that there will see more of the killings that's going on in Southern Kaduna.
Yeah.
And only was able to delete his tweet much later after it was.
Yeah. He was always active on Twitter.
What does it tell you? A Muslim House of Rep member celebrating the killings in the Southern Kaduna of a Christian community. So it tells you of ethnic cleansing. That there'll be more bloodshed. You've not seen anything like that.
Wow.
So that gives you the picture we have. So it brings to pass the part that we have this jihadist Osman Fodio jihad movement.
Okay.
That came conquered in quote the northern part of the country and the bit of the southern part of it, which is in Kwara and a few other places that which is the fundamental story you kind of heard of.
Yes.
Now that jihadist movement still goes on in the modern times that we're in, but in a different approach, which is as a subtle, calculated approach, is to go maim, kill, destroy, and sack the community. So you find the people who are from a particular community are refugees in the states,
in their
or
homeland.
outside of the states that they're from. People from Benue are refugees in Nasarawa, in their thousands. And this is 3, 4, 5 years are still refugees in those places. Guess what? The communities have been sacked. They can't go back to those communities to go farm. The government is not doing anything possible to bring them back to those communities. What does it tell you? So they can't farm. So the more those people who are mostly agrarian communities can't farm, the more you find shortage of food in the country, the more you have the inflation of food prices in the country. So there's a value chain of relationship that goes with this. So why is nobody doing anything about it? So when you speak about these things and call it out the way it is, you're blacklisted. Or you're giving different names. They tell you you're saying without anything without proof. I say, I've just given names. Now, we're not saying that people who practice this other religion are bad.
Exactly.
But there are people who are using it as a championing tool
For
to
their
carry
cause.
out
Cleansing.
ethnic needs. Because the truth be told is that those who practice Islam are not as bad as those who pursue ethnic coloration. Because the people in Zamfara, the Hausas in Zamfara are suffering the same thing that the thieves are suffering from the Fulanis. You find the problem in Zamfara is simply ethnic war. But, because both are practicing Islam, it's difficult to connect it to religion.
Yeah.
Because they are suffering. There are Hausas suffering in Kebbi. Their farms invaded by the Fulani herdsmen, and they have to pay ransoms.
Wow.
Yes, it's happening in the north, but not reported because they don't want to make it look like it. It's hardly reported in the main media. So it's one of those ones who you see on social media that you get to know this is going on.
Exactly.
You don't see the killings in Benin reported in the main media. It's not there. Neither the one in Indigo. It's not there. It is because the people have taken over the journalism, and so you have this thing on social media being shared. Then you not get to see it. Then it is not partly reported in the media in a way that doesn't really put the picture as is, but just to be able to, at some form of propaganda, to reduce, don't embarrass the comment of the day, kind of thing.
This is where we've come to the end of this episode on Hot Mic. My name remains Dotun Roy till I come your way again. Bye.